Toronto still with the playoff pulse. It's faint, but nonetheless, it's there. Joe Blanton hoping to do his best Sean Markham imitation as the A's visit the Jays. And Troy Gloss says pretty good imitation. So does Russ Adams. Blanton went 7 innings, 6 hits, 6 Ks. Top 3, 2 on, 2 out. Bartender, check. Hanahan. 3-run shot on Markham, who'd been close to untouchable. Hits Hanahan's first Major League home run. Teammates say, how's it? Markham, 3 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs. Boom! A's win at 6-4.
Baseball majors bet since the All-Star break. A-Rod's New York club wild card chasing against AL West leading LAA. Top 6, Yankees down 3-2, and it's A-Rod crushing the Chris Butchek offering deep and gone. Major League best 40th of the season for A-Rod. Bombers up 4-3. Top 8, Yankees down 2 runs with 1 aboard. It's Jorge Posada taking Justin Spire for a ride. His 16th of the season. We're tied at 6. Bottom 8, runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Halos, 1 out. Yankees playing the infield in. Myceres Turris rips one toward Wilson Betemit. Great stop, throws home. Posada tags out Gary Matthews Jr. out number 2. Next batter, Reggie Willits. 1-2 pitch from Kyle Farnsworth. Willits can't check his swing. He's stunned, called out on strikes. And Halos manager Mike Scioscia doesn't like the call, comes out to argue, and third base umpire Dan Iasonia tosses him. Bottom 9 with 2 out after Scioscia gets run.
And his money's worth.
Telling you, with runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Angels, Mariano Rivera on the mound. High chopper off the bat of Matthews Jr. fielded by Robinson Cano. Inning over. Bottom 10. Winning run on 2nd base for the catcher Ryan Buddy. Sean Hen deals, and Buddy drives the Hen offering to right center. It drops. Howie Kendrick scores on Buddy's first career RBI. Angels with their 8th walk-off win this season.
Hey, Buddy! Back up to 5 if they win at Tampa Bay. And Tim Wakefield, he's 18-2 against the Devil Rays. 8-0 at this field, but he didn't have Doug Mirabelli. He's hurt. They called up Kevin Cash, and well, last time they didn't have Mirabelli, they had Josh Bard. It was late April of 06, and about 5 days later, he was traded to the Padres because he couldn't catch the knuckler. Mr. Cash, how are you going to handle it?
My thing is, I don't want Wake to feel uncomfortable. If he goes out there and doesn't realize I'm back there, then I've done my job as far as I'm concerned.
Well, bottom 1, let's check out you on your JOB, and well, that's not quite what they were looking for, but settled down. And Red Sox got all over Scott Kazmir. It's not the legend of John Henry's hammer, but it's good enough for Manny Ramirez, who was 5 for 36 career off Kazmir. Singles there, Cash and Dustin Pedroia score. It's 5-0, bottom 5. Wakefield gets Josh Paul. Cash keeps it in front of him, and the throw to first. Wakefield had 5 strikeouts in the game. Bottom 6, B.J. Upton tries to steal second, forgot his PF Flyers. Cash brought his arm, and the Red Sox win 6-0, and Wakefield continues his dominance.
Monday, wildcard leading Seattle started a 7-game road trip in Minnesota. Johan Santana tipping his hat to the fans after Sunday's 17 strikeout performance. Top 1 with 1 aboard, Raul Ibanez. Into the seats off Matt Garza, his 14th of the season. Top 3, Ibanez again, his 3rd multi-homer game of this season. An AL best 9 jacks this month, and Seattle's up 5-1. 3 batters later, Kenji Jojima. Oh, he just missed a first run in his home run in his first at-bat. Doesn't miss that. His 14th. Garza rocked 2 1/3, 9 hits, 7 earned, 4 homers. Bottom 6, 7-1 M's with 1 on. It's Torrey Hunter deep to right, but Jose Guillen is there in support of Horacio Ramirez, who gets his 8th win. It's worth another look. Make it 4 straight victories for Seattle. 9-4 is the final. Your AL West and wild card chase. Seattle rolling in the midst of 20 straight games without a day off.
Bobby Jenks hasn't allowed a runner to reach base since the Millard-Fillmore administration. White Sox hosting the Royals. Jenks a streak of 41 straight batters retired. That tied the major league record. Now, his first batter he faces when he comes in is Joey Gathright, and the 0-1 pitch looks like, well, there goes the record, but he missed it by that much. And take another look at just how much. That much. 0-2 count after Gathright fouls off a couple pitches, and then Jenks says, I really want that record, dude. Fastball at the chin, and next pitch, well, Bobby Jenks said, I shook off the slider, went back to the curveball. That was my mistake. Gathright, he gets the base hit, streak ends. Gathright said, I didn't know I was that guy, and I'm glad I wasn't. He is not the guy, and the record will not be broken. Mark Grudzielanek going to fly out to center here as Jenks did retire the next 3 batters, got his 34th save. White Sox snapped their 8-game losing streak with the 4-3 win. Streak over 41 straight, still impressive. That leaves him tied with Jim Barr, who set that major league record back in '72 with the Giants. Now, Barr was the starter. He did his over just 2 starts.
St. Louis up 2-0. Ryan Theriot steps in, and Ankiel can't make the catch, but he's got a gun and keeps Theriot from getting a triple. Ankiel with his first outfield assist in support of Joel Pinheiro. 5 innings, 3 earned, 3 Ks. Top 5, Albert Pujols. Just abusing the Ted Lilly offering. His 3rd homer of the series, number 28 on the season, and St. Louis is up 5-3. Bottom 6, first pitch from reliever Troy Percival, and Derek Lee launches his 14th homer of the season, 100th as a Cub. Chicago down 5-4. Top 7, rain starting to fall, and Keel. His first career homer on the road, number 4 in 8 games this season. Cardinals up 6-4. Bottom 8 with 2 on and 1 out. Jason Isringhausen gets Mark DeRosa to ground into the 5-4-3 DP. Izzy also worked a perfect 9th for his first 2-inning save in 5 years. St. Louis wins. Arizona with an NL Best 24 wins since the All-Star break. Entertaining Milwaukee, pitcher Yovani Gallardo and the Brewers taking on the D-backs. A month ago, Milwaukee atop the NL Central. Arizona 3rd place in the NL West. Coming into Monday, it's the Brewers who are in 2nd place. D-backs now leading the West. Top 2, Milwaukee up 3-0. Gallardo deep to left field off Doug Davis. Gone. Solo shot. His first career homer. Brewers up 4-0. Same inning, Prince Fielder. Oh, you just feel sorry for the baseball. His NL Best 39th of the season, and Milwaukee's up 6-0. In the 9th, infielder Jeff Cirillo in to pitch for the D-backs. Cirillo deals and strikes out Craig Counsell. First career K for Cirillo. Gabe Gross steps in, and Cirillo induces the line out to retire the side. Brewers win 9-0. Time now for Diamond Cutters.
Braves hoping to take advantage of the Mets having Monday off. Atlanta 5.5 back in that race, 1.5 in the wild card. Cincinnati trying to play spoiler, but they're doing it with Philip Dumartre. And Dumartre, well, his ERA 10.32, and then he gives up the RBI single to Jeff Francoeur, and it's up to 10.50. And then Atlanta's first grand slam of the season comes later in that inning. Brian McCann, and all of a sudden Dumartre's ERA is up to 13.50, and then Mark Teixeira, 3-run homer. Teixeira's just killing it. Dumartre's ERA is going up, and away. 14.54. He finished the game with an ERA of 14.17. And, well, Teixeira knows if some is good, more is better. Top 4, another one. His 2nd straight 2-home-run game. He's got 9 this month. Tim Hudson a winner as the Braves go on to win it 14-4.
Pirates and the Rockies. Colorado looking to bounce Pittsburgh for a 4th straight time. Top 8, Rockies up 2-1, 1 out. Josh Phelps pinch hitting for Matt Morris, and he just takes LaTroy Hawkins deep and gone. Was tied at 2 on Phillips' 6th of the year, 4th with the Pirates. Top 11, 2 on, 1 out. Freddie Sanchez, the bloop single. That'll score Cesar Aztiris. Pirates win 4-2 for the first time in 3 years. They've won 4 in a row on the road. Taking a look at your NL wildcard picture, the Rockies could really make some hay with their favorable schedule. Number 10, Giants, Marlins. Miguel Olivo, fly ball to right. Randy Wynn is going to get there. Sliding, gorgeous Giants win
6-4.
March of the Penguins, San Francisco Zoo, number 8. 4 new Penguins, Riley, Charlie, Thistle, and Nachi, moved into their new home Monday. They had to spend 2 months in fish school learning how to swim in feet.
Love the movie. Bears Colts at number 7. Devin Hester, of course, he celebrated the Super Bowl by running the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Wasn't able to get the ring. Here's a preseason rematch, and he's unable to go all the way because he stepped on a teammate's foot, but the Bears did win this game.
How about on the pitch? Ghana and Trinidad, number 6. Osei Ransford the goal. It's worth another look. Ghana wins 4-1.
Mariners Twins, let's check them out at number 5 in the group. Mike Redmond, grounder to second. Jose Lopez, diving stop, throws to first. Take another look, and you know what? We're going to take another look from this game. Back to the pitch, United States against Tajikistan. Not sure if that was where Borat was from, but Fakhrad Vasia beats Dan Wenzel, and USA loses 4-3.
Number 2, back to the Metrodome. M's Twins. Joe Mauer grounded to short. Unieski Betancourt. Great get for the out. Worth another look. And you know what? Number 1, too.
Why not? M's Twins. A lot of love right here. Jose Guillen, Chopper, Nick Punto. I don't need no stinking glove. He gets number 1, but the M's get the win. Push play and record in his family if you're still working the VCR. Bottom 1, no score, 2 on. Anderson doubles down the right field line against Mike Mussina. That scores 2, meaning there's 2 RBI for Anderson. Mussina 4-1 in his last 5 starts. 9-2 at LAA. Not his night. A-Rod top 2 against Kelvin Escobar, who's given up just 1 earned run or less in 6 of his last 8 starts. So there's the 1. It's 2-1. 41 for A-Rod. Bottom 2, 5-1 Angels. Anderson again doubles to right center. Vlad Guerrero scores, and it's 6-1, and it's 3 RBI for Anderson. Next batter, Gary Matthews Jr. He singles to left. Hideki Matsui's going to come home, and that's where Anderson's going, and he is going to be safe. Collides with Jose Molina, and you hate to wish hurt upon anyone, but Joe Torre probably wishing Anderson got knocked out right there. Mussina out, 1 2/3, 7 hits, 7 earned, shortest outing of his career since September 27th of 05. Anderson doesn't care who's throwing the ball. Edward Ramirez, and Anderson goes yard, 3-run shot. It's 12-5, and that's 6 RBI. Joe Torre saying, you know, the Angels are the only AL team with a winning record against the Yankees since I took over. Why is that? Oh, and why is Garrett Anderson doing this to us? Off Sean Henn in the bottom of the 6th, a grand slam that's 10 RBI, and it's 18-5. And let's go legal flashback, because Garrett Anderson is the first player with 10-plus RBI in a game since Alex Rodriguez did it in late April of 05 against the Angels. Well, back to reality. Are we going to... There goes gravity. No, bottom 8, 2 out. Come on.
Come on.
Weak.
Get a hit.
Anderson finishes the night 4 for 6 with 10 RBI, and A-Rod, well, you don't want to give up that 10 RBI record he had, but he does. But he goes yard again, his 42nd. 18-9 is your final. Garrett Anderson.
Wow.
Get her done. Broke the Angels team record with his 10 RBI Tuesday night. Becomes just the 6th player in the last 50 years to drive in 10 in a game.
Highlight, 24 fewer runs in Detroit. Both players had electric stuff. Faustar Carmona and Jair Jurgens are the players I'm talking about, the 2 pitches in the game. Victor Martinez to Placido Polanco. Polanco continues to play errorless baseball at second, just flawless there. Carmona, how about a 96-mile-an-hour downer to Marcus Timms, and then Ryan Rayburn swinging and missing. Neither team has a hit in the ball game until the bottom of the 5th. No hits until the American League's leading hitter, Magglio Ordonez, deep into the Detroit night. That's a home run, his 23rd. One love, Detroit. Next batter, Carlos Guillen. He touches up Carmona, who gave up just 3 hits in 8 innings. 2 of them were home runs. It's 2-0 Detroit. He can't believe it. Can Cleveland get on the board? They can right here as Johnny Peralta gets a hanging breaking ball from Jurgens. For the first time in the history of the Indians franchise, their lone hit in a game was a home run. Top 7 after a walk. Jim Leland comes out to get his man. The 21-year-old from Curacao said, I'll remember this the rest of my life. They're cheering for you. They're also cheering because here comes Joel Zumaya out of the pen on the field for the first time since he was put on the DL May 3rd. You think this guy's going to make a difference? How about 98 miles an hour for a strike on his first pitch? Is that finger okay? Ask Ryan Garco. 97 miles an hour. And then 99 miles an hour. Finally, Garco's like, man, just get me out of the box. He grounds out to end the inning. Tigers get some good work from Zumaya and the rest of the pen. Jim Leland said that was a great ball game. It's easy saying that for me because we won.
The Yankees were both wondering what the M's were doing. Seattle 2 back in the division, 1.5 up in the wild card when play began at Minnesota. Adrian Beltre, top 2 scoreless, no more. His 20th, and the Mariners up 1-0. And if some is good, more is better. Next batter, Richie Sexson, his 21st. Mariners up 2-0 on Scott Baker, who gives up 14 hits in 6 2/3, but just 3 runs. Jose Lopez, base hit, and then looking for extras. On the slide, his helmet falls off, hits him in the face. Acceptable mugshot. Felix Hernandez, every bit of funny. Now you funny, too. Nothing funny about Jared Washburn, 0-4 in his last 7 starts, but 4-1 career at the Twins pad, and no team scored fewer runs since the All-Star break from the Twins, who run themselves out in the 4th. Washburn and the M's get the win 7-2. The Mariners don't pick up any ground on the Angels in the West. but they gain another game on the Yankees in the wild card.
They're hosting the Padres. Chris Young looking for his first win since coming off the DL. Bottom one, Carlos Beltran steps in, and you know what time that is, Neil? It's business time. His 25th home run of the year, 5th in his last 7 games, 2-0 Mets. 7th inning, game tied. Padres runner on second. Khalil Green singles off. Jorge Sosa brings in Mike Cameron, and the Padres have come all the way back from down 4-1 to up 5-4. But Beltran, bottom 8, he was 3 for 3. He brings in Jose Reyes, tying the game at 5. At this point, Beltran's got all 5 Met RBIs. It's a good ball game. And Shea, 9th inning. Padres load the bases off Billy Wagner. Kevin Kuzminoff will fly to right, and Lastings-Millage does make a good play to keep the damage minimal. It's a sac fly, bringing in Milton Bradley, but that was a big play because it's only a 1-run game. Trevor Hoffman comes in. Lastings-Millage led off with a base hit, moves to second, then pinch hitter Marlon Anderson brings him in. 4th blown save for Hoffman. When this guy's good, he's untouchable, but he does have that odd appearance where he just can't get anyone out, and he gets blasted. Marlon Anderson comes around on the Luis Castillo base hit. 4 hits off Hoffman in the inning. Mets have won 7 of 8. So Wagner and Hoffman, 2 of the better closers in the game, neither one very good in the 9th inning, and the Mets win it by 1.
Well, the Phillies are loving Hoffman. They were 1 back of San Diego in the wild card going into Tuesday's games, hosting the Dodgers. Bottom 4, run around. Phillies down 1. They did trail 3-0. Aaron Rowan, upstairs, bro. Brett Tomko, his 21st. Phillies up 4-3. Hey, they may get Maui Shane Victorino back Wednesday, by the way. 5th inning, bases are loaded, no outs. Pat Burrell, and Tomko walks in a run. And, you know, he's 2-10 this season, so he's a little edgy to begin with. And he argues with Field and Colbert, the home plate umpire, by the way, who's a free agent in the fantasy league. Grady Little comes out, says, you know what, I'm going to take you out, Brett, and I'm going to bring in Mark Hendrickson. And remember, there were no out. Hendrickson actually got out of the bases loaded, jam 5-3. Bottom 7, hey, you never forget your first. Ryan Howard, his first career base stolen. Phillies go on to win the game. 5-4 is your final.
Him more than Victorino. Atlanta got swept at home last month by Cincinnati. Said Bobby Cox, anything can happen in this ballpark. Well, Brian McCann loves the Great American Ballpark. He's 15 for 32 with 5 home runs, including this one. Braves up 7-5. Bottom 6, Jeff Keppinger on first after getting hit by a pitch. And Ken Griffey Jr. hits a grounder to Kelly Johnson. Now, Keppinger stops, which is a smart play because you stave off the double play. Then the next batter is Brandon Phillips. He singles. Norris Hopper scores, but Jeff Francoeur has a hand cannon. That is his 18th outfield assist, which leads all of Major League Baseball eventful inning for Keppinger. Top 9, same score, 2 on, 2 outs. David Weathers gets Francoeur to ground out. That's it. That's all. The Reds win it by a score of 8-7.
Add another souvenir to his home run collection. Giants host the Cubs. Chicago interested in another record. They're tied atop the NL Central with the Brewers. Tim Lincecum, 5-1 in his last 9 starts. Giants got 1 on RBI ground out, and then Lincecum gets Derek Lee right there. And then Jason Marquis gets Barry Bonds, who was 0 for 3 at Milwaukee's batting .277. Back to Lincecum, the former University of Washington dog. Mike Fontenot swinging like Glenn Miller, and Darrell Ward like Tommy Dorsey. 7 Ks, only 2 hits through 8. Here we are, top of the 9th. Lincecum still in, but Lee singles to left. Ryan Theriot scores, and that chased old Lincecum. We're tied at 1, and 5 runs, 5 hits in the top of the 9th. They were out of Hennessy. Brad had nothing. Cliff Floyd singles, and 2 score in the Cubs.
They had too much.
Yeah, they go on to win it. 5-1 is your final.
Brewers and Diamondbacks in a matchup of division leaders. That's Mark Reynolds, and we're not picking on Mark. It's just that Mark's having a rough go. The rookie third baseman, August 18th, struck out in his final at-bat. August 19th, he struck out 2 times. August 20th, it was the Golden Sombrero, 0 for 4 Ks. Bottom 2, Dave Bush. That's another strikeout, 8 in a row. Bottom 4, Reynolds next at bat, off-speed pitch. 9 consecutive appearances, 9 consecutive strikeouts, ties the Major League record for position players. Never has a man been happier to get hit than Reynolds was in the bottom of the 6th when he gets plunked, avoiding his 10th consecutive strikeout. He gets drilled there. Speaking of drilled, as for the ball game, Gabe Gross, his 2nd career grand slam. Hey, you're not the regular pool boy. His 7th home run of the year, and Milwaukee wins it by a score of 7-4.
Hello, we're the Cardinals, and we are the defending World Series champions. St. Louis hosting Florida, and right in the thick of it, Albert Pujols goes solo in the bottom of the 6th with the Cards down 2. It's his 4th straight game he's homered and came off Daniel Baroni, who said he can hit it far. There's no doubt about that. Bottom 8, 2-1, 2 outs. Juan Encarnacion, ground ball, and he throws high. And Armando Benitez, he's unhappy, and his unhappiness is about to increase because Yadier Molina, the next batter, he singles. He's got 9 RBI in his last 10 games, and all of a sudden, instead of being out of the inning, Juan has gone home, and this game is tied. Next batter, Aaron Miles, he's going to go RBI single, and then the next batter after that, you don't see it, but Ryan Ludwig, he homers off Benitez, not happy. And the Cardinals go on to win it. 5-2 is your final. So add 1 to the win column for all 3 contenders in the NL Central. That's one of baseball's better teams. John Lester, one of the game's better stories. Cancer survivor. Boston and Tampa Bay. Carlos Pena, he's writing his own chapter. Off Lester, bottom 1, ties the game at 2. Career high 28. Lester, 5 1/3, 5 runs, gave up 2 shots. Top 4, bases loaded, 1 out. Red Sox up a run. Coco Crisp hugs the line, 2 score, and the Red Sox go up 5-2. Bottom 7, it's 8-5, 2 on, 2 outs. Carl Crawford, line drive off the glove of Dustin Pedroia. He gets the E. Josh Wilson would score 8-6. Hideki Okajima, though, then gets B.J. Upton to strike out, and the Red Sox get out of a jam. Jonathan Papelbon, 29 saves, seeking to become the first Red Sox pitcher with 2 30-save seasons. Johnny Gomes says, oh, man, I'm not the guy that just gave him that, did I? Well, he gives him that at the 8th, and then Papelbon goes 1, 2, 3 in the 9th. He gets it, and the Red Sox get the win.
Major league leader in Ks, looking to go 9-0 his last 13 starts. Poor Texas, they just had to deal with Johan Santana, and there Gerald Ayer gets struck out by Bedard. Second inning after the O's got a 2-run homer from a Miguel Tejada and stretched out to a 3-run lead. There's Sammy Sosa striking out, and he'd strike out again. His return to Camden Yards didn't go so good. 0 for 4 for Sosa, 3 Ks, including this one, said Texas manager Ron Washington. The guy definitely knows how to pitch. Strikes out Gerald Saltalamacchia there. Bedard now has 218, ties the franchise record. Orioles win it 6-2.
Team in Toronto where the Jays remain on wild card life support. Oakland in the top of the first, Mike Piazza. And when this happened, television, Scott Van Pelt said that's your top play of the night right there from old John McDonald. We'll see if it is later in this show. Bottom 6, Toronto down 4-3. Vernon Wells has just gone yard. And the very next pitch from Heron, Frank Thomas does his 2nd of the game, 508 career. 3 behind Mel Ott on the all-time list. Top 7 still tied. Jack Cust scores Nick Swisher because Alex Rios didn't bring his adult glove. Heron doesn't have great numbers, but he gets the win. Baseball, the Rockies trying to remain relevant in the NL wildcard race. They need to pick up the pace. Hosting the Pirates, Ian Stewart. Jeez. Grand slam, bottom 3rd. The Rockies down 1, came off Tony Armas. It's Stewart's first career home run, and the Rockies go on to win it 9-2 as your final. So the Rockies move back into a 5th place tie in the wild card standings. Even with the Dodgers, who lost to the Phillies, the Mets beat the Padres, who fall into a wild card tie with Philadelphia atop the standings.
Plenty of good stuff all around the sporting world. What a ball game in Detroit. Placido Polanco, that guy plays flawless second base. Tigers win this one 2-1.
Number 9, it wasn't at Stadium Arcadium. It was in Toronto between innings. The chili pepper races. The red chili pepper goes out to an early lead and is running away with it because she's a lover baby and a fighter. Should have seen her coming when it got a little brighter.
Nice. Little League World Series, the youngsters from Lake Oswego. Look at Neil Lomax's little boy, Mitch. Maybe he misplayed it, but turned it into a top play. Oregon wins it 6-1.
Yeah, they're still rocking from the Nugent concert. 7, Reds, Braves. Edwin Encarnacion makes the backhanded stop on the short hop. Throw gets Matt Diaz at first. We've got more on this game ahead in the show.
Like right now, Kelly Johnson, diving stab right there, gets Jorge Cantu at first. One more look at this one. Atlanta had the lead. They lost it. Reds win 8-7.
Dodgers and Phillies at number 5. Shea Hillenbrand singles. Russell Martin tries to go to first, the 3rd on the play. Jason Worth goes Chuck Connors from right. The Phillies win at 5-4.
Eric Bedard gets yet another win, thanks in part to Nick Markakis laying out, doing his thing. Astros and Natty Bears on Markakis getting dirty.
At number